there is a new productivity tool launched every single day, maybe even every single hour, I don't know, but there's definitely way too many of them. So what if I told you that maybe the answer isn't a new productivity tool, but maybe let's go back to basics and have just a notebook. So let me explain why I chose my notebook and then how I actually use it to kind of replace parts of using a digital tool. Number one, the amount of features. Usually when there's a new productivity tool, you will go to their website or the app and it will be like, oh, we can do this for you. You can do recurring events. You can do reminders. You can do this. You can color code stuff. And you're like, oh, that is really cool. But actually, do you need all of those features? Because what I often run into is that I have a tool, for example, Notion, and I'm thinking, oh, but I wish I could also do this. And that's when we start to look for another tool to have that little feature as well. But now, if we think about paper, it has kind of limited features, but also unlimited features because you can put whatever you want on paper. And yes, it might not be as automated as a digital tool could be, but also you can again make it and customize it however you want to. But for my really nerdy friends who actually know how to code an app or a website, yes, you could technically make your own. But today, I hope you indulge me in showing you why maybe you still want to stick to just a notebook instead of creating an app and then keep tweaking it. So a little bit of psychology. We might think that we need more features, but we probably need less features. So the moment we start to look for a new app is when we are overwhelmed, when we have kind of lost control of like what's happening, or there's just simply too many things happening, and we're like, you know what? A new tool is what I need. And I know that we also do this with like notebooks. When you're like, okay, I'm going to start a new project, which means I need a new notebook, obviously. So there's like a digital and an analog version of this issue as well. But I am pretty certain that finding a new tool and like migrating all of your things that you already have to this new tool and spending hours or days on this, or even just like finding the next tool, that time can probably spend elsewhere in a more nice way instead of like, not actually handling the overwhelm or not handling the tasks at hand, but kind of like trying to gain control by distracting ourselves from what the actual issue is. And this is what a notebook does really well, because when you work on paper, when you have 1,000 projects and 1,000 priorities and 1,000 recurring tasks and 1,000 I don't know what, it is actually pretty cumbersome to like write all of that down. And you will be like, oh, yes, again, this week I will be doing the same task. And you write it down again and you write it down again and you do it again. And you're like, oh, is this really, really important to me? So why the notebook helps me with my projects and my priorities is because I really, really have to pick, because you literally do not have time to like keep writing all the time, all the things that are coming up. All right, so that was the theory part. Now let me actually like show you the practical part, how this actually works and what I do in my notebook. So first of all, it is a notebook with removable papers, so I can just add also different kinds of papers depending on what I'm working on, and I can move them and I can remove them or add more wherever and whenever I need it. So that is like, adding a new page in whatever software you use. Again, can be done on paper. And then let's talk about the actual pages that I have, so how this system works for me. First of all, I have my project list, and this is everything that has multiple actions that I need to do. So it doesn't have to be a huge project. For example, recording YouTube videos is a project for me because I have to script it, I have to record it, I have to edit it, and I have to upload it. And there are like a few micro steps along the way. So it's not just a task in itself, but it's actually a project. The project list for me is just one page and I kind of try to make sure that it is not more than one page, because that means I have a lot of projects that are going on at the same time. And also then I have to like turn the page to be able to see all of my projects. And again, see, this is like a limitation, but also a great feature for me, where I'm kind of like limiting myself to what I am doing at the same time. Next up, we have my next actions. So those are the actual tasks that I have to complete in order to make progress on my projects. And why this system is great, like that I have like one paper for my projects and my next actions, is because human time and life is limited. You could keep adding tasks to your beautiful digital tool, but on paper and in real life, time is limited. You can only do so many things in a day, in a week, in a year. And mostly how I work with my projects and next action list is that it is for 1 week. And sometimes, yes, slightly more tasks are coming up, and that is okay, but then I know that it is a pretty busy week, because normally this is like the exact like nice amount for me to work with. Next up, we have something called tiny experiments. Those are kind of little tweaks that I'm doing in life and then experimenting with them to see if I enjoy doing that or not. And there's a whole book about it called Tiny Experiments that you might want to check out to see what it is about. But I like to be like reminded of the little things that are kind of important to me in the moment but are not really a habit yet, so that I actually see them pretty often. Next up, I have my calendar and planner. It is a weekly planner, so it looks like this. So I have like a place for every day, plus a little bit less for the weekend. And how I use it is I put on the left side my meetings and on the right side my tasks for that specific day, and the tasks are coming from my next action list. And sometimes, like I said, little tasks are coming in like in the moment or from my email, for example. So those can also go in here because this is what I actually check on a daily basis. And if you're now thinking, how is this not getting out of hand, or how can you actually keep it like up to date and stuff like that, that is because I also have a paper that is literally called the weekly review, and it kind of lists the things that I should go through to make sure that my life is organized, but also that this notebook is kind of up to date and is organized. So like I said, with the planner, this is where my daily tasks are living, but it means that the next action list might not have a daily review. Usually it does, but maybe it doesn't. So at least once a week I actually check my next actions and my project list, and usually I also like insert a new page here for the new week for new projects and new next actions. And no, the projects don't always change because some projects take longer than a week, and that is also okay. Next up, we have something really fun, which is an adventures bingo card. Let me show you better. I created this at the beginning of the year, and I just wrote down some like random things that then came up in my mind that I kind of want to experience this year. And it is a bingo card, and I don't know yet what happens when I complete a bingo, but we'll see. And this is after my weekly review page, so that I actually check in with the things that I set out to do this year. And again, I like it a lot more in this notebook format, because if it would be living in my whatever digital place, I wouldn't probably click on it like every week and just go like, oh, what adventures did I set out to do at the beginning of the year? It would just be like somewhere kind of like buried deep in my software or tool that I'm using. So again, paper wins. Then I also have a few pages where I take notes about the adventures to like keep myself motivated to keep going. I also have the tiny experiments, if you remember from 10 seconds ago. And for the tiny experiments, I also take a little bit more notes for what I'm doing, or if I'm enjoying it, or actually like making progress on it every day, so that it's a little bit more like a tracker, you could say. And then the very last bit is basically just a space for notes, and I have a few different types of paper depending on like what I am doing in that moment. And yeah, it is of course like highly personal how you want to organize if you get a notebook, but this system works great for me, and sometimes I tweak it, that is totally fine. But again, I feel like there's endless features, but at the same time also very limited features, and that is exactly what makes it great. And when it comes to my notes, I do want to point out that I usually take a picture of them and I ask, for example, ChatGPT to just write it out so that I can add it to a digital collection where I keep my notes, because I do agree that a big limitation is that if I would, for example, be interested in a note that I took 3 years ago on paper, I would not like to go through all of my notebooks and all of my notes to find that, but just, do a quick search on the computer. Yeah, and then the very last bit of it is my hobbies and some fun things. I usually have like a few Sudokus at the end, so if I'm like on the road and I always take this notebook with me, then I can just do a quick Sudoku. Or also I crochet, so my crochet patterns, my favorites are also here so that I can just quickly make a nice project. And that is basically it, and that is how I use it. And like I said, sometimes I tweak it, but I have been now using it for, I would say, about 6 months-ish, and this is the thing that like works. And very important feature, definitely the weekly review, because as soon as you like stop checking in with yourself, yes, that's when things start to break down. And another disclaimer, I still use Notion, I still use digital tools, but not for kind of organizing my life in the sense of my projects and my to-dos. That is all on paper because I am tired of having so many features that are just only causing more overwhelm. And the very last thing that I want to say is you do whatever system works for you. This was maybe good as an inspiration for you to consider using paper. Maybe you already use paper, but your system is like not really working for you. So I hope this gave you some inspiration to maybe explore paper, maybe set up the same thing online, maybe to create your own app, whatever works for you. And if you have a system that works for you, I would love to hear what it is, because I'm nosy. So feel free to leave a comment and let me know what your system is.